Day over here in New York. And as I promised, we were going to go live for a little bit of a midday call-in show. And I got two lines for you open. There's just going to be the open line for everybody. Call now, 914-200-0269. 914-200-0269. And because it's so early in the afternoon, I know that creates a very good possibility that we have a couple of extra people who usually don't get to catch the show live, watching live. Namely, those of you who watch from Europe. So I have an international line open for you as well, just in case you want to get a little bit of special treatment, since it's a special day. Now, I'm only going to be live for maybe about an hour, if that, but I have I just got a little bit of time I wanted to give you all, because we're not going to be live tonight. And I'll actually able to look at the main chat rooms tonight. For example, I'm looking at YouTube and Twitch right now. Amanda, how are you? King Cracker, what's up? Witchy Poo, Linda Love, Susie, Plick, Bryleen, Nikki, D-Egg, John Urban, Amy, Michelle. Oh, there's a bunch of people in there. Oh, and then there's Mark Swan. Mark Swan says, this chat smells like sex. I guess. I mean, I sprayed the Gwyneth Paltrow potpourri before you showed up. I was hoping that everybody got in the mood. So, like I said, tonight I will not be live at 7 o'clock because it's my nephew's high school graduation. We're going to be baking in the sun because I've just been told that there is going to be inescapable sunlight where we are sitting. Inescapable sunlight. Oh, I'm going to escape, all right. I'm going to take Aurora, and we're going to walk around for a few hours until they get around to the letter S, because he goes to school at a high school that has about 3,000 kids or something, and his last name starts with the letter S. So that's going to take a little while, and I'm not going to bake and screw up this very, very well-deserved tan. Okay? Incredible the time I put into working out outside, drenched in sweat. Anyway, so I'm not going to be live at 7 o'clock. What I am going to be doing is, and I already put it out on Telegram, I put it out on the Gilded, and I'll put it out on the community tab on YouTube and on Twitter and elsewhere, around 4 o'clock, because I won't be here to launch an episode at 7 o'clock. What I will be able to do is launch an episode at 4 o'clock. Okay? At 4 o'clock, I'm going to press launch over here at my station in the at the house, and it's going to go live on quitefrankly.tv, and it's going to be about 3 hours of mixed, music and all that other stuff, just to be able to get us to 7 o'clock. And around 7:05 p.m. is when the classic Quite Frankly episode, the interview with Joseph Civitano, is going to go live. He served in World War II under the command of General Patton. It's an episode from, I think, 2017 or 18, November, around there. It's a really great time. It was about an hour long. After that, I've got a couple of things for you. I might even slip in What About Bob and a couple, I don't know, who knows, but I've got stuff for you tonight so that you're not all missing out. You can still watch on quitefrankly.tv, and you can watch and talk together. So there you have it. Tonight, there you have it. Okay. Let's see here. Call in 914-200-0269, because I did no preparation for today. I'm just going live to see what you guys are throwing at me. Give me a buzz. How about people that we never heard from before? You know who's never called in? Mark Swan. Never has Mark Swan called in. He's like a mythical, weird, strange, mythical creature that just makes inappropriate comments at the worst possible time. I think Mark Swan should call in. Somebody else. It's all you right now. In the meantime, I can go over to the news. Putin is in Pyongyang. Uh-oh. Who cares? Stocks hit fresh records. Flashback. Trump calls for economic crash. Calls for an economic crash? So I mean, it's just I just went on to Drudge Report for a little bit because it's fascinating to see how this zombie body is is operating over here. No scruples. Stocks hit fresh records. How does that feel to you? Are you happy that somebody's stocks have, with all the inflated monopoly money floating around, are you happy that somebody else's stocks has hit fresh records, ladies and gentlemen? How'd that feel for you last time you went to go shopping? Got yourself a nice pound of beef. How did that translate? How did the stock market help you out there? Ridiculous. Listen, both sides play that damn game. It's so stupid. First call of the day, 609. You're on the air. How you doing?
Hi, Frank. This is Steve, first-time caller, long-time listener.
Steve,
how are you?
It's so good to hear from you. So, what's going on, man? Do you usually watch at night, or is this a special opportunity to finally watch live?
It's a first opportunity to watch live. I usually catch you on Thursdays with Adel.
Gotcha.
And Red Pill, so I generally catch those live, but the nighttime is kind of hard for me. But the afternoons are great. So this is awesome that you're doing this today.
I want to do this a little bit more often, and I hate taking days off. But you know, things like this, you got to be there for family when they're graduating and stuff. And but I also have taken off. I took off my first summer Friday, this Friday coming up. So I just couldn't go without anything, and I love it too much. And you know what? This is why I got Studio B, just to be able to pop on whenever the hell. So it's good to talk to you. What's on your mind? Anything you want to say? A joke you want to tell? A shout out? Whatever.
That's awesome. I just wanted to talk to you about what you think about Trump and the whole income tax thing, and what your thoughts are on that.
Oh, I don't care who says it. I don't care who says it. Just I love it. I mean, do I think it's possible? Barring a gigantic Earth resetting event, I don't know. I don't think it's politically possible at all. Like I always say, people who identify as conservative politically really don't understand how dependent they are as well. And if we really did something as big as getting rid of the income tax, I know he said he wanted to replace all that income with tariffs and stuff, but tariffs are not going to cut it unless there is a massive cut in spending, and that is going to affect people in ways unseen, because it's been nearly 60, 70, 80 years now where so much is flowing in the wrong places, all illegally, but everybody getting a little bit of a skim off the top. It keeps everybody within arm's length or just out of reach of political autonomy on these issues. You know, most people who say that they're conservative, they don't want their Social Security to go away, per se. They don't want any of the assistance that they're getting, medically or anything like that to go away. But they just want something tinkered. They just want something adjusted. But if we're really talking about a saving of the country, a restoration of the country, then we're talking about getting back to doing away with things like income tax and emboldening the states to do whatever the hell they want, to sink or swim with whatever good or bad idea they generate over there. And it's worth being said. I love the fact that he's planting that seed in people's minds, maybe people who haven't considered it yet. But that's what we were supposed to be doing. We're supposed to float the whole entirety of the general government via tariffs and whatever the hell else we were doing on an international basis. And the general government should be small enough to actually pull that off. You know, you're really just talking about managing the post office and the military when needed. So it's great. I like hearing it. Of course, it was going to get people's panties in a bunch.
Right. And that's well said. I mean, and he's also, in my opinion, he's talking to the Tea Party too. That used to be in existence. Libertarians as well. Like, I remember he went to speak to the libertarians a couple of weeks ago, and now he brings this up front about the income tax. I think he's talking to them as well, and I think it's a good thing. Like you said, he's planting the seed, and it's a discussion that's long overdue. And I'm very happy that he's the first president in my lifetime, besides Ron Paul, that really brought up this income tax thing, and I think that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah. Any little bit is a victory at this point, because Like I said, is it politically feasible? Isn't going to be. It doesn't even matter what kind of Republican majority you had. I don't think that they would do anything like it. But it's really, we're at a point now where the best thing that anybody can do that has a platform is to get a really awesome idea out there into the ether. Just let people marinate with it. Let them hear it. Let them think about it. And maybe a light bulb goes off, because it's it's worthy of consideration, and it's really traditionally one of the most American things about our founding right there.
Right.
Yeah. There's nothing more anti-American than a federal income tax, and but that's it's been one of those temporary solutions to a wartime problem that never went away. But hey, man, is there anything else you want to say?
No, that was all, Frank. I appreciate your advice and wisdom on that. And I do listen to a couple of replays of yours. I liked when you had you were talking about the Reich machine. I think you had the guy on that was talking about that not too long ago. I remember listening to that a couple of months ago. But yeah, I like the guests that you have on. So I try to catch replays every now and again, and really appreciate what you're doing, and keep up the good work.
Thank you so much, my friend. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, you got it. Take care.
I think the Reich machine was Matt from Cultivate Elevate. I think we were talking about Reich technology being used as a cloud buster. Hey, hold on. We got a call from Switzerland over here. Hello, Switzerland. Is that you?
Yes, it's me. I can't believe I'm speaking to you at a decent hour.
Look at it. It's
Nor. Only 9 p.m. over here.
Wow. I was like, what are you doing right? Usually you're all nestled in bed and getting, you're calling me in between naps. Are you like, just finishing up a workout or something? Like, what are you doing right now?
No, I actually just had dinner not so long ago. I had a good old-fashioned American burger for dinner.
Like it.
And then I log on to Twitter. And what do I see? Frank live at almost 9 p.m. my time. It's such a difference from our usual calling time. How are you? And I just wanted to say hi, basically.
Oh, I know. Well, listen, you can call in, and I know you would call in to say hi a lot more if it wasn't an ungodly hour with the difference in times. But this is, every time I do this, I think, oh, I got to do it more. And then I realize, oh my gosh, all throughout the week, there's just so much time is already accounted for that it's a little bit tough. But I don't know. I gotta find time. I do this. I gotta do some more weekend late night stuff. I gotta think about it. But everything's all right on my end. I'm so happy that you had a burger. I'm thinking about that right now. Now, me from an American point of view, somebody who has not traveled the world, anytime you call in, Noor, I see you, no farther than 10 or 15 feet away from a balcony with a beautiful view of the mountains. Am I wrong?
No, you're not, actually. I have a beautiful view of the Lake Geneva, and the mountains. I can even see the Mont Blanc, which is the highest peak in Europe, from my village where I am. I have a beautiful view on that. And finally, with a much delay, we're getting some warm temperatures, which is much welcome, because it's been, this winter has been dragging on for so long over here.
Yeah.
But anyway, aside from the weather, we have much more interesting things to talk about. I wanted to know what your thoughts are on what's going on with this insane lawfare in your country. I mean, the myth, the legend that is Stephen K. Bannon, supposed to turn up to prison on the 1st of July, depending on what happens with his appeal. We're waiting to see what happens with President Trump. We're seeing what's happening in the courts. Did you follow that guy's case in Nashville? I think his name is Leahy, who refused, rightly so, good on him, who refused to give up his source for the leak of the manifesto of that crazy trans shooter in Nashville.
Oh, yeah.
Have you followed that story?
Yeah, just a little bit. Just the premise of it, what you just said right there, nothing else. But the law, if you want to give us a little bit more background on that, then please, go ahead. I have some general thoughts about the Bannon thing, which ties into everything else as well. But I want to know a little bit more about this other thing.
No, I just saw it yesterday because I think his name is Michael. His first name is Michael, if I'm not mistaken, Michael Leahy. He is the owner of the Tennessee Star, and he published excerpts of the manifesto of that trans shooter. And the Metropolitan Police of Tennessee, I believe, of the state of Tennessee or the city of Nashville. I'm not so familiar with the details of the case, but they're basically suing him for having leaked the documents, or rather for not giving up his source.
Yeah,
I think that's the issue. He's unwilling to give up the source.
Well, they've been on that. They have been on that. That really stepped up under the Obama administration, going after the press. For all of the crying that people like Rachel Maddow talk about, I'm going to be put in jail if Trump is elected again, and all that other stuff. The press never saw any kind of a squeeze as bad as what happened under Obama. Not since the Civil War under Lincoln, at least, and that's one of the main things that they went after is people's sources, and it is also at the crux of the Julian Assange story as well. There too, some people would say that the real issue with Julian Assange is that he was a part of the theft. He was giving instruction to Manning to get all that stuff out of there. It wasn't just that he was publishing things that were leaked by someone else, but in many cases, when we see things like this, it's all about really creating more precedent to do away with people's right to protect their sources and to just publish. I mean, this is what the press is all about. The press is about publishing things that are going to keep powerful institutions in check, in orbit to where they should be legally, and that keeps civil rights in order. I mean, when you're talking about powerful institutions from anywhere, culturally, judicially, whatever the hell it is, that they get outside the bounds of their authority, then what suffers? It suffers the civil rights of individual little people that don't have that kind of lobbying power. That's what suffers. This is why the press was supposed to be such a huge check, but they don't like when people do that. They want it to be they want it to be part of the gang, and so I got to look into this a little bit more, but. I don't know. From what you just told me, doesn't matter what the hell a person publishes. If it's leaked, it's already out there. If there's a breach there for somebody who got materials out, whoever breached a contract, whether if you had a contract with a private company, an NDA that you broke, anything that you're taking proprietary technology away and putting it on out there, whatever the hell it is. If you had a contract with a defense company or with the government itself, I mean, you're taking it upon yourself. You put your name to paper, you signed it, and you understand the consequences of getting that out there. But once it's out there, once it's in the public, anybody can talk. I mean, that's when we start talking about the ridiculousness of Chris Cuomo going on air and actually having the gall to tell people that you're not qualified or certified to be able to look at any of this stuff. It actually might even be illegal. We'll tell you what's inside of these leaks, blah, blah, blah. Damage control, because they're all on the same damn page. And so, yeah, this is just, it smells like the kind of precedent that has been attempted to be set for the last 10, 12 years in keeping the press walking in lockstep with the powers that be. So it doesn't surprise me at all, but I have to learn a little bit more about it.
No, you're absolutely right. The key term here is precedent, and then I would say as well deterrent. Because if this Michael Leahy were to unveil the quote leaker, and be forced to do that, then less and less people will be inclined to leak documents because they will fear not having the protection of anonymity. But it's one of the cornerstones of the First Amendment, where you're supposed to be able to have free speech and a free press.
Indeed.
And it's obvious to everyone, and everyone listening in particular in your audience, that this is exactly what they're seeking to destroy.
Indeed. And as far as Bannon and everything goes, I mean, the time that I've been alive and paying attention to this stuff, a contempt charge is something that everybody I've only ever seen people laugh contempt charges off. And I don't know, it's all part of that whole one-sided way of trying to get people subdued and trying to get people pinned down in a very, very high stakes part of the calendar year. This year in particular, you see it all over the place. It really just it does telegraph a lot of anxiety and a lot of desperation, but at the same time, man, oh man, I don't know. There's a lot of craziness going on already, and we're just about to knock on July's door, Noor, and who knows where it goes from here. Now, would that keep Bannon in prison would he be there past Election Day?
Listen, the sentence is for 4 months. Can you imagine, like right before the election, the most important political show for the American right, and there's no one like Bannon. He's the best of the best, and he knows how to rally the troops, or the posse, as he refers to the America First patriots in the country, and the people who listen to him. There isn't a single person who knows how to motivate the troops like he does, and the fact that they're trying to take him out in the 4 months leading to November 5th is just so transparent.
Yeah, I'm. That's one thing. I always stop to listen when Bannon goes on a tirade, because he always has the words just ready there in his head. It's something else. And I wish the only thing there is, and I guess his confidence is born from just one place at this point, because he speaks very, very confidently and matter-of-factly about what's coming in November. But it has to be just from the standpoint of there are so many people now that have since been recruited to the opposition of what is the main cultural driver within our government, and the orbiting cloud of fellow travelers, the organizations and things like that. There's just been so many more people that have jumped off that boat and have seen things for as ugly as it is, and that they're feeling the impact of illegal immigration now. They're feeling the impact of the inflation that has creeped onto every receipt for any purchase that they're making anywhere, and that there's just going to be such an overwhelming turnout, not even necessarily for Donald Trump as a person, though I'm sure many people identify with him for a number of reasons, but he's also just a sigil of resistance at this point, in the last way that people feel that they could resist. And maybe some people think that the value of casting a vote has long since expired. But for now, that it's still on the table, I think that that's just the last. People feel, hey, it's 20 minutes out of my day in an afternoon in November, and I feel like I'm completely unrepresented, and it's the last thing I can do. So who knows? I have to imagine that is where his confidence is stemming from, because again, I think the main thing most people are thinking is, sure, we know where the winds of change are blowing in this country, but we've already seen them steal one, and why would they not be able to just eke out another one? And most people will say, well, if you have the numbers, it's just going to get to the point where they can't.
That's the thing, we know that we can't put anything past these people. And, I'm holding my breath until November, because I'm very alert. I wouldn't be surprised if they pull something out of the bag. We've talked about this before, a quote, black swan event, but obviously very much prepared. But there is no, regardless, and even if they've stolen it, as you said, what is the sacrifice? You just go and vote, and hopefully, what President Trump has been saying, too big to rig. Hopefully it is too big to rig. But I don't think it's a good idea to follow the advice of certain people to just, stay at home and do nothing. Just go and vote, because what else do you want to do otherwise?
Oh, listen to this. Listen to this, Noor. I saw Michael Tracy put this out yesterday, and he said, WTF, Arizona man accused of plotting a mass shooting at a rap concert to incite a quote-unquote race war ahead of the 2024 election, claimed to have, quote, fought as a mercenary in Ukraine and killed Russian soldiers, end quote. According to the FBI affidavit, he spoke to an FBI informant at gun shows, of course. The man allegedly tried to recruit his FBI informant friend as well as an undercover FBI agent he had just met at the gun show to drive across the country to Atlanta to commit the mass shooting. His goal was to ensure that every whitey will be the enemy across the whole country. That's a quote. The man allegedly said that he wanted to make it clear that the concert shooting was not gang-related, so his three-man shooter squad would make sure that to shoot things like whites out here. I mean, it's weird to have this come out. We're expecting stuff like this all over the place.
Listen, they're preparing false flags, whether it's in the U.S. or whether it's in Europe. We have the Olympic Games in Paris this summer. We have the Euro, the soccer European Cup that started, I think, about 10 days ago, a massive event that lasts until mid-July. The situation with regards to immigration in Europe is absolutely catastrophic. I mean, just as it is in the U.S., of course. And in the U.S. in particular, and this is what I said in my during my last appearance on the War Room, Steve himself was in court. I did the recording with Natalie Winters, who was hosting. But I said this, I said, be prepared in the United States, because it's so obvious that they are preparing for the Civil War 2.0 psyop, because they really do want to give the illusion that there will be a civil war in order to justify a national divorce, because I do think that the goal of the globalists is to break up the country, to balkanize the country. So I would be very, very alert and very aware of that specific type of psyop coming your way. And I mean, we see it in the different rhetoric in the press, you know, the movie Civil War, if you want to talk about predictive programming. They've been building up this Civil War narrative by also pretending that the country is much more polarized than it is. The country isn't that divided. I am sure that the majority of the American population is actually sick of this and is more patriotic than we are led to believe by the media. Obviously, all these talking heads are promoting and giving the impression that all these liberal ideas and these people pushing, we see all these videos on Twitter of the people with the blue hair or pink hair or whatever, and then the trans people. Yes, obviously they exist, and obviously they're a part of society. They've been brainwashed, and the numbers aren't negligible. How do you say that word?
Yeah.
They're not that small. How do you pronounce that word? Negligible?
No, negligible. Negligible. You said it first. You said it right the first time.
Okay, thanks.
You speak better than most English speakers.
But they're not as the numbers aren't as big as they want you to believe. So that when they do roll out the Civil War psyop, people buy into it. You see what I mean? Oh yeah,
and this is listen. You got to hand it to the FBI. They have been for decades now. We've been able to watch them stop so many crimes that they were planning themselves. It's just they're highly efficient at stopping crimes that they plan. Everything else, forget about it. I mean, that's actually one of the biggest commonalities between every major shooting is that there's usually somebody involved that was on the FBI's radar and they just slipped right through. And so there's that. And of course, when I read this, the first thing I think about is, oh, isn't that something? Somebody went out there to start a race war and blame it on Whitey and all that other shit when you know that there is a major, point of desperation as to where political and social sentiments are trending within non-white demographics. There's a lot going on there, and they're hemorrhaging support. And even though they are, the people running the show right now are trying to import and are doing a great job in importing millions of people, that they see as indentured servitude voters, is they're not on the books yet. So right now I can see why that somebody out there would want to make sure that there's a shooting war that starts between blacks and whites in certain regions of the country. But we just got to stand fast with all this stuff. And man, oh man. Well, this was a great hearing from you, Noor. I didn't expect you to be my guest today.
Well, thank you so much, Frank. It's always a pleasure. So I'm glad I could call in and say hi. I also want to say hi to all the Franklies who are awesome and always show me so much love. So just lots of love to all of you guys right back.
Well, they love you. And let me ask you this. What did you have did you have any dessert after your burger?
No, not yet.
Or do you have something in mind? Are you going, is it just going to be espresso, or do you have some biscotti? What do you got?
Well, actually, right now on my desk, I have some dates, some medjool dates.
Why did I think it was going to be anything less than classy? Of course, I had some dates tonight after my burger. Of course, you had dates. It was either going to be something like dates, or you had like a creme brulee or something.
No, they didn't have like desserts, like proper desserts in the burger place I went to. It was like a proper, diner burger place.
Gotcha.
However, I might go and make myself a cocoa powder, a healthy one, banana coconut milk smoothie. I might do that before I go to sleep.
Okay.
I want to know all the details.
Nice. I know. I do want to know all the details. I absolutely do. Lauren has been making a lot of things with coconut cream lately. And oh yeah, that it's good. She makes a lot of coconut cream mousses and all that. So that's nice. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to be having tonight though, but I just wanted to just wondering. Hey, listen, next time you talk to Steve Bannon, tell him that Frank says hi. I never met him, but since you're so close, just tell him I said hey.
I'll say hey next time. I really do hope and pray that he won't be sent to prison, especially since they want to make it really difficult for him. So I'm not even sure what conditions he would be facing, depending on the jail. It's just insane.
So there's still a chance. There's still a chance he's working on some things to avoid that fate. Obviously.
Yeah, I think his lawyers are working on an appeal.
Okay.
So we're the 18th of June, and he's supposed to report to prison on the 1st of July. So we have see what happens. Well,
prayers for all of us, because of course it's not in any way, shape, or form just about one of us, and it has nothing to do with celebrity. Because as you can see, it's hard enough for people with celebrity to be able to weasel out from under the thumb of these monsters. So when you apply that to our own little people lives, when we don't have that kind of celebrity or that kind of bankroll behind us, it makes it even ever more so scary. So we're rooting for people like Steve all the time and hoping that the tide turns for all of us. Thanks for calling in, Noor.
Thank you so much, Frank. We'll speak soon.
All right.
Have a great rest of your day.
You too, my good friend Noor out there. As soon as I saw Switzerland pop up, I said, could it be? Hey, caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Frank.
Hey, who's
How
this?
are you?
Who this?
This is Ed, man. We've talked several times, but it's been a really long time, man.
Hello, Ed.
It's been too long.
It's good to have you back.
Yes. So would you like to talk about some dreams?
Give me a dream. Go ahead. Sure.
Okay. Great, man. Just to kind of justify well, not actually justified because nobody will really believe this, but a couple of months ago I had a dream and it was so vivid that I woke up. Let me preface this by saying I've never been to Baltimore. I don't know nobody in Baltimore. I have no plans to go to Baltimore, but I woke up saying Baltimore, absolute chaos, 1.2 million. And then 2 days later, a bridge fell.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
What is
I have no
the
idea
1.2
million? Yeah, I have no idea.
Okay.
I still have no idea.
Gotcha.
But it was chaos, man. This latest one. No, actually, let's go with this festival I went to. Had a dream. I went with the festival with the family. We wanted ice cream. We walked up to this ice cream cart booth. I think it was more like a state fair, so they wanted tickets, but we wanted to pay with cash. And all of a sudden, like an army comes in, but they have drug sniffing dogs, but they weren't sniffing for drugs. They were sniffing for dollar bills. They confiscated everything. And the atmosphere was, everybody in there was very angry, but we did nothing. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, moving on to this next one.
Is this the last one?
This is the last one.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, here we go. Doorbell rings. I walk up to the door. Dude, very nice, suit and tie, very well spoken. And he says, we need to schedule this. And I say, I don't want to schedule this. He's like, no, it has to happen. I'm just filled with dread. This cannot happen. How about November? And he says, no. Get a calendar, which I don't have a calendar, but in the dream I had a calendar. So I come up with a calendar. I invite him inside. I move it to October. I said, how about October? And he says, no. And he points at September 12th. And he says, this is the last day. That's it. That's all I got, man.
He says this is the last day or our last day?
This is the last day.
September 12th, this is the last day. Well, Ed the Dreamer, I'm going to have to write that one down. September 12th. We'll see.
I have no idea what it means, man, but it was very, very specific, and it was very loud. It wasn't like a regular dream. It's more like a vision. It was like, pay attention to this. September 12th.
All right.
That's all I got, man.
Ed, call whenever. And listen, I always on quitefrankly.tv. I always up on the hold on a second. Up on the forum. Let me get this up over here. No capture. That out of the way. Hold on a second. Here it is. Up on the forum, I always have to the top reoccurring and recurring dreams. I have it's a repository there. I posted it on August of 2022. We have 104 responses in there. Anytime that something starts coming up, that's it's not just like a crazy dream. Things that pop up over time, and it almost forms patterns that you want to be able to track. Feel free to drop it in there, my friend, and thanks for the call.
Okay, hey man, be well.
You too, be well. Okay, so Ed says September 12th, 2024. That is the last day. The last day. Today, according to Biden Insider on 8chan, tonight is when Joe Biden is going to say that he has stepped down. So we're going to know in a couple of hours if that happens. I don't think it's going to happen. I actually do think that what we were reading last night is actually more likely, that this is going to at least get to next Thursday for the debate, just to see how well that the chemical cocktail holds up. I don't know. I saw some Democrat strategist or whatever talk about Hillary Clinton again, because she showed up at the Tony Awards on Sunday night. Showed up at the Tony Awards on Sunday night, dressed in a flowing white toga, like she is a Roman deity or something like that. showing up in a flowing white toga to talk about the sanctity of the vote and women, women, vagina. And it's just one of those things. One of those things that I'm saying to myself, why didn't Kamala Harris come out there and do that? Why wasn't it Kamala Harris? Wouldn't that make a little bit more sense? But no. And then, of course, I saw a strategist today saying that Joe Biden should replace Kamala Harris with Hillary Clinton. It doesn't matter when you do it. We'll know that this was always the plan. Doesn't matter how many years you gave Kamala Harris as a little bit of a placeholder on that table. Doesn't matter how many years. There is no sequence of events that leads to Hillary Clinton being injected into that office that you are ever going to make us believe that it was natural. It just happened to be that way, and it wasn't planned. It could be a slow. So it's just it could just be one person's opinion, one crazy cult member's opinion out there that she should be swapped out there. But we've been waiting for that swap for a long time. I don't know why anybody would justify Kamala Harris being a replacement for Joe Biden. It's just like, well, it's because she's a woman and she's not white. It's like, that doesn't matter. You have to have some kind of sex appeal, political sex appeal. You have to have some kind of animal magnetism. She has none of that. She was polling lower than fucking amoebas. She was polling lower than amoebas in 2020. It's like you could have literally gone into, I don't know. Doesn't matter. Does it really matter? No. What's the last thing here? What is the last person actually put something into the repository? Let me see. This is from May. It's from Heather Peets. Heather says, over the last 8 to 10 years, I've had recurring dreams of finding a secret room or rooms in my house. Sometimes I'm back in my first apartment. Sometimes I'm in my current home, and other times it's a new house. The secret room varies. It might be grandly decorated mansion type of room, or a finished basement with bedrooms untouched since the 70s, fully decorated, or it might even be a second kitchen with old appliances and counters piled with junk. No matter what the secret room or rooms are like, I'm always excited to find them. I have no idea why I have these dreams or what they mean. Well, it's good that you're excited. It's good that you're excited. 310, you're on the air. Who's this?
Hey, this is Steve Nelson from South Carolina. How you doing, Frank?
Hello, Steve. How's everything down in South Carolina today? Is it hot?
It is hot. I'm sitting out here having a cigar on my screen porch, just enjoying the day.
That's wonderful. What kind of cigar?
It's got, I'm looking at this thing. I was trying to practice the name Agarosa leaf.
Okay.
It's a fantastic leaf.
Is it a darker Maduro type, or is it like a lighter Connecticut wrap kind of a thing?
Oh no, this is definitely a Maduro. Got to go strong.
Okay. All righty. Well, I was just talking.
I don't play around.
Oh, I know. I can hear. I was just talking cigars a little bit today with Brendan Dilley, and then I got in touch with my friends who do all the hand rolling cigars at Lefties again. That I got in touch with them. I said, guys, has anything changed with the organization over there? Because when they came on and they made the official, we had the GETTR cigar that they made for me about 2 years ago. It was a 6-inch Connecticut wrap with a really subtle vanilla kind of a finish. It was really, really nice. And it had a nice burn. It was a good 45-minute cigar. You're hanging out there with your friends on a day like today. It was a really nice cigar, but they were just too small of a company, I guess, and they weren't able to handle a lot of the orders that were coming in timely enough. And I couldn't have that, so I got in touch with them. I said, hey, because I still buy from them personally, but I couldn't do that to people in the audience. And they said, listen, we just brought on 4 more people. We're expanding the operation. Let's get together and talk. I promise we can make this work. So we'll see what happens. We might be experimenting with another go with the cigars again, and hopefully people like you get to try that out.
That'd be awesome. It'd be awesome to have a cigar with you someday.
Oh, we can do that. I want to have some meetups. Hello, hold on one second, Steve. What did you want to let me know? I have a knock at the door over here.
I wanted to ask say one thing. I love the book club. Been enjoying it, and the other thing is, I was just curious. So you're always talking about high protein. Do you do the carnivore diet or a keto diet?
I'm pretty close to carnivore, but I'm not very religious about it, and I need to be because I still want to melt about 10 pounds off of me. I'm around 200 pounds. I want to be around 190, 187, and I'm not like fat, but I park it a little bit on the sides, and I just want it to be gone. So I got to talk to Jay about that. I think it's just a matter of getting. I'm deficient in. I'm about 20 to 25 grams of protein deficient every day. Some days I hit it right on the mark where I want to be, but other days I miss a little injection of something whether it be
that part is tough.
Yeah. It's like once you start tracking those macronutrients a little bit, and the big thing for me is a pound of beef. If you can get anywhere close, like a cut of steak. Or a pound of ground beef. Lauren sometimes will take the ground beef and we'll make some stuff, put it into a bowl. That pound gets you to 100 grams right there. So from there, I'm thinking, all right, if I put my protein shake from NSP, which is very clean, it gets me to about 57 grams. So if I have the steak and I have one protein shake, I'm already at 157. Then I just got to have, I don't know, a little bit of almonds, a little bit of cottage cheese, maybe a can of tuna fish. That's another 20 grams, and I'm right there. The thing is consistency. Damn it.
That's the hard part. But I have so I lost 95 pounds on the carnivore diet, and my wife's doing it. She has had remarkable results. She's off her insulin.
Wow. Good job.
She doesn't have sleep apnea anymore. I mean, just losing the weight and getting stronger. It's amazing. I found out about it just watching YouTube videos, Dr. Barry and these guys. And then I saw that my brain just went dead for a second. Our girl over there that you do the show with on Fridays. She's on the carnivore diet with her husband. And I was just curious because I hear you guys talking about all the time, like high protein meal. I was just curious about that.
Yeah. Listen, in 95 pounds, man, congratulations. Congratulations to your wife. When you find something like that and you see the effects, I mean, that's the best part about it. Once you do something just a little bit, you go all in on something. And after a little while, you just see some kind of marked improvement. Once you can see something actually change, no matter how small it is, that is all anybody ever has to do. Like when I used to take on new clients when I was personal training, the one thing I would say, because I had people that would come to me that were morbidly obese, and we would do some really, really awesome work together. And I would tell them right off the bat, all we're looking for is that one little spark, that one, the needle just moving a little bit in one direction where you notice something. And the first thing you notice is a change in energy. And then you notice maybe a little bit in your face or whatever the hell it is. There's just a releasing of fluids. And all of a sudden you just feel like you're moving more efficiently. Once you feel that, and there are some impacts that are felt real quick, that's all a person needs to just have their confidence soar. And then there's just the momentum that you don't give up. It's tough for people who are really, so you coming from a point where you had 95 extra pounds to lose at least, I'm sure that at the first you're just like, let's roll the dice and whatever. But once you started seeing the pounds come off, that must have been like, well, there's no stopping now.
Exactly. And the crazy thing is that now I'm weighing 158, what I was weighing in high school, and it's amazing. And I've been going to the gym every day and just feeling great. So yeah, I recommend to anybody that wants to. It's a challenge because you have to learn how to eat different, but my gosh, meat is great.
Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome. And that's going to be part of, and thanks for the call, man. And all the best to your wife too.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Take care.
Yeah. Have a good one. I mean, we'll talk about that again on Thursday, next Thursday, when Jay Gulinello is in, because I want to circle back around to all that stuff. It's really just about what you're giving your body. I mean, the real thing here is this. Your body goes and your body naturally focuses in on carbohydrates and then fat and then protein for energy. Okay? That's what it goes for. It goes for stored energy sources, carbohydrates, fat, and then protein. So, that's why you'll sometimes you'll have maybe a very, very light carb, maybe a cup of applesauce before, about 45 minutes before a really intense workout with a liter of salt water, just so you're nice and hydrated and you got a little bit of extra fuel to work off of. Sometimes I'll do that. But other than that, that's why prioritizing high protein and high fat diets, it actually puts your body into a situation where it has to go. If you're not eating carb heavy diets and you're telling your body go into fat deposits and go and burn off all this other stuff, and there you go. It forces your body to go into those metabolic prioritizations, and trigger all of that into working, and that's why it works out so well, and boom, that's it. You can't just starve yourself. Starvation doesn't work. That doesn't work at all. Then you get no energy, and the second you have anything again, you just balloon right back up. So nice. All right, let's see here. We're about an hour in. I want to do a nice tight hour with you. Let me go and get into our super chats. I see some Rumble rants over here. Wart Guy says, afternoon delight. You damn right, Wart Guy. A little afternoon delight. Gypsy Princess says, you have a great evening with the family, Frank. Thanks for all that you do. I thank you, Gypsy. I love you. She says, Frank, I'm just going to Rumble rant rather than call. I just did sauna, and now I'm doing a detox bath. I don't talk on the phone while in the bath. It feels too vulnerable and risky. Feels too randy. Don't call me up while you're bathing. You'll turn me on, Gypsy. I can't do that. I can't be turned on air. My whole career will be lost. So let me see here. And 925 says, Frank, $1 per Frank. Oh, then 5 francs. Well, thank you so much. Very nice of you. Let's see. Anything else? There's a couple more people calling in. Let's do it. 801, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, this is Jerry Ann.
Hey, Jerry. How you doing?
I'm good.
What are you feeling? You feeling all right?
Yeah, I'm feeling great.
Good. What's on your mind?
I was calling to ask Frank where he got his shirt, because my 9th great-grandfather was Aaron Stark, who died fighting the Revolutionary War, and I would really like to get a House Stark shirt.
Really? Okay, hold on one second. I'm going to go and grab him for you. You just hang out for a second.
Okay, thanks.
Jerry, are you there?
I am.
Okay, so you want to know about my House Stark shirt?
Yes.
I don't know where I got it, to be honest. I think it was just. It might have been from the HBO store from years ago. This for Game of Thrones. But that's interesting. I have a book over here on John Stark, who's also another Revolutionary War figure. I have not read it yet. Is that part of your lineage as well?
Well, my grandfather's name was Aaron Stark.
Aaron Stark. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe who knows? Maybe.
Yeah, I just thought it was really a cool shirt and was interested in getting one.
Let me see. Well, House Stark shirt. Let's see. This is like this might be an OG print. I'm pretty sure it came from the HBO store years ago. But from what I'm looking at, there are quite a few House Stark shirts out there from all types of sources, official sources and homemade kind of Etsy things. So I would take a look at it.
Okay, cool. I will check it out.
So wait, what was Aaron Stark was your what? How many times removed grandfather?
Ninth great-grandfather.
Ninth great, and what was his rank?
He was a general in the Revolutionary War. He died fighting the Battle of Wyoming in Pennsylvania.
Wow. Wait, I have it. I wonder. It's not over here. It's on my other bookshelf. The John Stark one. He was a general as well. I really wonder about that. Aaron and John Stark, if there's any relation there. It might just be a common last name. But anyway, Jerry, I'm glad you called in, and thank you for sharing a little bit of your lineage with us.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
All right, take care. There you go. All right, what else we have here? Jay Semo says, hey, Frank, what's going on, Jay? It's good to have you out. Good to have you all here. Let me see here. We had one international call come in. Of course, that was our good friend Noor bin Laden. All completely unplanned today. This was nice, wasn't it? Here, let's take one more. 781, you're on the air. Who dis?
Hey, sorry about that. I know you're talking about the epic side quests the other night.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got one?
So, well, I think I started one for my own son, which I think is pretty cool. I'm a hockey player, and where I went to college, they had the oldest operating sports venue and hockey rink in all of the world, I think. So I woke him up early one morning this year. Rather than get up and go to school, we went over to that rink and got to play in a little pickup hockey game for that. So I think at 8 years old, that was a pretty cool side quest to take my son on.
Oh, hell yeah. I was just about to ask, how old is he? 8 years old? That's going to stick with him. That is going to be a nice, firmly laid brick in the foundation of his childhood. That's great.
And then found out recently that they're going to actually tear that building down and rebuild a new one. So I think we got him in there just in time. But I was hoping to make it, a yearly thing. But I guess now whenever they rebuild the new one, we're going to have to start doing that when he gets a little bit older too.
Well, yeah. Hey, the buildings will come and go. But he'll say, "Hey, I had a really special day there," and now you're just going to be able to find other places to go and other places to whisk him off to in the middle. I don't know, go fishing at Lake George or something. So that'll be. I don't know. Where are you guys in the country?
Well, I'm in Boston, so it's at Northeastern University rink called Matthews Arena. The Celtics played there, like boxing matches. I think it opened in like 1910 or something crazy like that. So yeah, it's a pretty historic building.
Well, that's terrific. And you know what? Right there in Massachusetts, you're right in the middle of the Northeast. It's not too far. Look, 3-4. It takes us about 3.5 hours to get up to the Lake George, Minerva area. But if you're in Boston, you just got to go northwest. I wouldn't be surprised if it isn't around the same amount of time. Maybe 4 hours.
Yeah.
To
do a trip like that for sure.
Oh,
yeah.
You would love the Lake George area. That's beautiful up there. So anyway, thanks for calling in, and that was an interesting perspective over there. You wanted to talk about a side quest that you yourself just gave to your son. So that's great. Thank you for that, man.
Awesome. Love it. Love everything you do. Keep it up, bud.
All right, man. No doubt I will. And that's it for today. Look at that. 1 hour on the dot. So listen, it's 3:35 p.m. In about 25 minutes, I'm going to start a stream over at quitefrankly.tv that is going to go for 3 hours of mixed electronic and down-tempo, cool little quirky music, nice visuals, all that stuff. It'll go right up until about 7:05-ish around there. And then that is when a Quite Frankly Classic episode from 2017 or 18 is going to go live. And after that, What About Bob, a coast-to-coast election fraud episode, all that stuff. It'll stretch good into the night, and I should be back to be able to say hello to everybody in the chat room at some point along the way. So I know I'm not live at 7, but I gave you a little something today and a little something tonight around 7 o'clock. Go and chat with everybody on quitefrankly.tv, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow night. We've got a great guy coming in tomorrow night, and he's actually coming into the studio. He's a new friend of the show, and he's been on. We've been friends on Twitter for a while. His name is Jeremy Ryan Slate. I don't know if you've seen him recently. He was even on InfoWars recently. But he's coming in tomorrow in studio. He's from New Jersey, so he's going to make the ride over. And we're going to be talking about the Roman Empire. We're going to be talking about the modern parallels, what we're living through right now, Roman Empire, all types of Roman Empire questions. If you have any questions about the Roman Empire, myths, anything you want clarified, anything that you believe would be a really great modern parallel conversation, send it in to me. Send it in to me. Let's do it. So that's tomorrow night, and then on Thursday, I've got a couple of interesting things I want to bring up, and I even have some questions about you guys for you guys and gals. I want to go back to a little bit of the recent history that we had on the boards, including some Q questions, since that is absolutely verboten these days. Verboten. So that I think Thursday should be a really interesting retrospective and walk down memory lane. And then Friday is a summer Friday, so we'll have a little bit of a solstice party tomorrow. Have a good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If anything else happens, I'll get the word out. But quitefrankly.tv, you're all set up for the rest of the evening, and I hope you enjoy your night. Other than that, become a sponsor. Quitefrankly.tv, the sponsor us page, wherever. I'd love to welcome you aboard for the rest of the week and for the rest of the summer and the rest of the year. Come on board, ladies and gents. Be my boss. Good night. See you later, Tumbleweed on D Live, Bill Cooper on Twitch, Moon Bunny, Yogi, Brad Eastwood, Linda Love, Andrew Schroeder, your boy Death. Who else there? Ross. Not Your Average Show with Jordan Charles. What's going on, Jordan? Have a good one. And that's it. That's that. Take care, Nikki. Goodbye, everybody. Lenny Kinney. See? All right. Good night.